Hello, my name is Crystal Nguyen, and I'm going to be teaching a lesson on radians and degrees. Now, you may be asking, what are even radians and degrees? While both are measurements of an angle, a degree is the actual angle, while a radian is the arc. An easy way to differentiate the two is that radians use pi, and degrees have a degree notation. Some examples of degrees are 90 degrees, which is a quarter rotation when going in a circle, and 180 degrees, which is a half rotation around a circle. When looking at the unit circle, the radians are the increments that represent the arc reflected from the degree. Some examples are pi over 6 or pi over 4. Before learning how to convert degrees to radians and radians to degrees, it is important to understand the relationship between the two. As you may know, 2 pi radians is equivalent to 360 degrees, which is one full rotation around the circle. If you simplify that, half a circle is pi radians, and that is equal to 180 degrees. Well, how many degrees is 1 radian? Or how many radians is 1 degree? You can answer that by further simplifying the equation. To understand how many degrees is 1 radian, you need to divide both sides by pi, canceling out the pi on the left side of the equation and leaving 1 radian equal to 180 over pi degrees. To understand how many radians is 1 degree, you can take that initial equation and instead of dividing both sides by pi, you have to divide both sides by 180 to cancel the 180 on the right side, which essentially leaves you with the idea that 1 degree is equal to pi over 180 radians. After learning the basic information, you can now convert. Problem number 1 wants you to convert 45 degrees to radians. How do you do that? You start off with the knowledge that if you were to multiply the degrees by radians over degrees, the degrees will later cancel out and leave you with the number that is a radian. That is the goal, so what you have to do is multiply 45 degrees by pi over 180 degrees. The degrees cancel, leaving you with 40 multiplied by pi over 180. Once you multiply, it is 45 pi over 180. So the final answer is pi over 4 radians once simplified. Problem number 2 suggests that you convert 11 pi over 6 radians into degrees. To do that, you know that if you multiply that by degrees over radians, the radians would then cancel out and leave you with a degree. So what you have to do is multiply 11 pi over 6 radians by 180 degrees over pi radians. Radians cancel out, like I said earlier, and the pi's also cancel out as shown as step number 3. 11 times 18 is 1,980, and you divide that by 6, so the answer is 11 pi over 6 radians, which is equivalent to 330 degrees. The whole process is the same with negative numbers. Problem number 3 wants you to convert negative 30 degrees into radians, so you multiply that number by pi over 180 degrees. The degrees cancel out, leaving you with negative 30 times pi over 180. Step number 3 is to multiply that fully, which is negative 30 pi over 180 radians, and that simplifies to negative pi over 6 radians. Problem number 4 wants you to convert radians into degrees, so you already know that you need to multiply that given number by 180 degrees over pi radians. The radians cancel out, and so does the pi, leaving you with negative 5 over 6 times 180, which simplifies to negative 150 degrees. That is it for my presentation. Thank you for listening.